This is the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
Good evening. Scott is off tonight. I'm Chacon. Mitt Romney managed to shift the focus in the campaign back to taxes today, his own. And in doing so, he managed to rekindle the debate over whether the rich should pay more taxes, as the Obama campaign advocates. It all started at an airport stop in South Carolina, where aides set up a whiteboard between two flags so he could talk about the fine points of health care. But somehow it got off track. Jan Crawford has that.
Romney wanted to talk about Medicare.
First, with regards to seniors,
But it was his answer to a question about his taxes that got all the attention.
Bad news on the drought today. Government forecasters said it's likely to continue at least through November. And while they don't expect it to expand in size, this week it did grow more intense across a big part of the heartland. Jim Axelrod reports on the impact.
The worst drought in 50 years could cost Iowa 19% of its corn crop.
The hot, dry weather is perfect for the mosquitoes that spread the West Nile virus. Cases have been reported in 43 states this year. In Texas alone, there have been 465 cases and 17 deaths. Dallas is fighting back. Tonight it begins aerial spraying to kill off mosquitoes for the first time in 45 years. In South Africa, at least a dozen people were killed today when riot police fired on striking miners. It happened near a platinum mine in the northern part of the country, where the union miners are demanding better pay.
Witnesses say some of the strikers carrying sticks and machetes approached the heavily armed police. It's not clear what provoked the violence, but the strikers charged and the police opened fire with automatic weapons. By the time the shooting stopped, the ground was littered with dead and wounded. A reporter for a South African news agency says he counted 18 bodies.
Syria's civil war has gotten so bad the UN decided today to pull all of its military observers out of the country. The 300 observers were sent to keep tabs on a ceasefire that never happened. The UN accuses the Assad dictatorship of war crimes against civilians and rebel fighters. But we are learning now about the atrocities on both sides. Clarissa Ward reports.
Images like these have become a daily occurrence in Syria. This was the aftermath of a government airstrike on the northern Syrian town of Azaz.
Facebook stock is falling as more shares hit the market. The federal government can be tougher than the banks when it cracks down on homeowners in trouble. And remembering the king 35 years later when the CBS Evening News continues. A U.S. military helicopter carrying special operations troops into battle crashed today in Afghanistan. 7 Americans were killed. Their Black Hawk went down in northern Kandahar province. Everyone aboard was killed, including 4 Afghans. The Taliban claim they shot it down, but that has not been confirmed. A decade of war has put enormous stress on American troops. And today, the Army reported that in July, suicides among active duty soldiers were more than double the previous month's total. David Martin has more on that.
July was the worst month ever for Army suicides. 38 active duty and reserve soldiers took their own lives.
To learn more about the growing problem of suicides in the Army, go to our website, cbsnews.com. Stock in the social networking site Facebook tumbled to a new low today when early investors got a first chance to sell their shares since the company went public. Facebook sold its public offerings in May for $38. Today it closed at just over half that price, $19.87. The founder of WikiLeaks was granted asylum by Ecuador. He may never get there. That's next. The question in Lapeer, Michigan tonight is, who got the winning Powerball ticket? It was sold at a gas station in Lapeer, about 45 miles north of Detroit, and it's worth $337 million. No one's come forward to claim the jackpot. 35 years ago today, Elvis Presley died of a heart attack after a year of prescription drug abuse. He was 42. Last night, as they have every year, thousands of loyal fans gathered at Graceland. Presley's mansion in Memphis. Elvis's former wife Priscilla and his daughter Lisa Marie attended the vigil for the first time. A former mailman still delivers, but now he's bringing something more special than a letter. That's next.